Welcome back. Some African breakthrough female technology entrepreneurs were honored at the just concluded World Economic Forum on Africa. One of the winners of the Top Women Innovators Award is Oluwayimika Adelaja, the Chief Executive Officer of Fresh Direct Produce and Agro-Allied Service. The global shaper explained to Channels Television the prospects for urban farming in Nigeria.
I've went through a lot of issues, and so there's nobody in Nigeria who gets into agriculture that won't face some of the issues that African farmers are really facing. And so I faced the issues of transportation. I remember when the fuel scarcity happened, and things went from, I think, 87 naira for a liter up to 200, 300 per liter. And then I now had negotiations with truck drivers on, let me get my products to Lagos, and they just stonewalled me, and then they're all in their little cabal. So if you ask this one and this one, they already know he said no, that it's this price, so they're not going to give you any different price. So I had those issues, and I said, no, this has to end. I can't fail at this. And so urban farming was a better solution, where I'm taking my farm to market. So instead of just getting closer to market, I am at market. And so that's something that has been beneficial for me. And in this business, I've made my money back, whereas in the farm, I'm still making my money. In the rural farm, I'm still making my money. For us, it's not just about agriculture. It's about eco-friendly agriculture, sustainable agriculture, and agriculture that maximizes yield and that utilizes technology to do that. We know that without technology, we can't reach the heights that we want to reach as a nation. So our company focuses on using technology to improve yield for urban farming. And so we created a container farm, which is a modular farm. This means that young people don't have to own land. They don't have to have too much access to water. They don't have to have anything, really. They don't have to clear the land. All they do is they get the farm in a container, and they're able to grow inside that container, and when they want, they get a second container and they put it on top, and so they can keep doing that up until 5 stories high, and so they're able to maximize yield on that 14 square meters of space.
But there's only so much, or particular kinds of crops you can do with that kind of technology.
Yes, for us, we don't want to compete with rural farmers. We want to create opportunities for urban unemployed youth who haven't had any experience in agriculture. So we want to be able to take advantage and kind of displace the import market. So the things that are being imported, like lettuces, like cold weather crops coming from Europe, they're imported on a weekly basis, and they're sent to restaurants, hotels, and grocery stores. So we want to take advantage of that market. And most of the things that the container can grow are those types of products. But we're also innovating on our containers to be able to do root crop products like carrots, turnips, and other things, and also tubers like Irish potato as well. So, and fodder as well for animal production.
You're talking about things you plan to do. What is being done right now already? What's the response been like in Nigeria?
Okay, so right now we're growing things like lettuce, kale, pak choy, arugula. We're growing microgreens as well, and lots of other exotic veg. And so the response has been really good. We have restaurants, grocery stores, and hotels that buy from us. For us, we started with the container farming in December 2015. We had our first container ready by January and planted. We did our first harvest by February, and we were able to pay for our second container by April. So the revenue has been very good from it as well. And so now we're scaling to 10 containers, and we're looking forward to scaling on that small facility that we have to 100 containers as well.
Okay. Are these GM products?
No. Everything inside the container is organic. So we use heirloom seeds, and so we also farm organically. We use organic liquefied compost. So we make that ourselves, and we liquefy it ourselves, and we use that for our system. So
we have the problem of cold storage because of the issue of power in Nigeria. How have you been able to handle this?
Within 15 minutes of harvest and cleaning, our produce gets to our customer. So it's hyper local. They don't have to worry about that cold, that issue of cold storage over how many days, because they're getting their products directly, and it's fresh. So that's something that we've been able to do to kind of mitigate those difficulties that we faced before.
What has the youth response been like? We know we have a lot of young Nigerians who many people easily say, yes, they should go and farm. And there are so many challenges. You've listed some of them here.
They're excited to learn. Everybody sends us messages that they would like to be a part of this, they'd like to come on board. And so we're looking now at how we can expand so that people can grow with us instead of for us, but young people just want something that's not backbreaking. So with what we're doing, you're not, putting seeds in the ground directly. You're sitting at a table and seeding your vegetables. You're not just using a hoe and cutlass to prepare your land. You're putting them in pods and you're turning on a button and your stuff is growing, and that's it. So you don't have to worry about weeding because you're not outside. You don't have to worry about pruning. It's just an easier process.
And Ghana's cocoa board says cocoa purchases increased by 13%, reaching 757,506 tons from the start of the recent season on October the 1st through April the 20th. The world's second largest grower is aiming to produce 850,000 tons of beans by the end of the season in September. And in Libya, oil production has risen to 792,000 barrels per day as the OPEC member pushes up production from the newly restarted Sharara and El Feel fields. Well, this is the highest since 2014 and about 30,000 barrels per day higher than last week. The Sharara and El Feel fields, with a combined capacity of about 360,000 barrels per day, resumed production at the end of April after protests that had blocked pipelines linking them to export terminals were halted. Reuters reports that the resumption on Tuesday of output from the eastern Al-Badia oil field after a 4-year halt also contributed to rising Libyan production. In Kenya's biggest telecom operator, Safaricom Limited, has declared a 20.7% jump in its earnings before interest, taxation, depreciation and amortization in the year ended March. The company's chief financial officer, Satish Kamath, told investors on Wednesday that EBITDA came in at 100.3 billion shillings, excluding a one-off item of 3.4 billion shillings. Safaricom is recommending a dividend payment of 0.97 shillings per share, up 27.5% from the previous year. The company, which is 40% owned by Britain's Vodafone, also says it has decided to extend the contract of its chief executive, Bob Collymore, by another 2 years. And that's our program today. Thank you so much for watching. I am BC Adebayo.